Let's see here. Let's see here. What y'all niggas talking about? What y'all talking about? What you niggas talking about? What y'all talking about? What y'all talking about? What y'all talking about? What y'all talking about? What's up, Katt Went, Campbell? Let people come up in this chat room on this full moon. What's up, Cut the Check? I like that name. Cut the motherfucking check. Money talks and bullshit walks. Amen to that. Cut the motherfucking check. So he said we look alike. You must be black than the motherfucker then, because it's dark as hell right now. He can say, you damn right. Cut the check. What you niggas talking about tonight? Man, today's a good day. What's up, Dre Day? Basketball on all day. I swear to God, I watch basketball from 10 in the morning to 10 at night. You want my take on MLK? I got a video I did last year on King Day. I reposted it yesterday on this channel. I did a whole breakdown on the real Martin Luther King. Talking about all the niggas that was around him that was backstabbing his ass and shit. I love Dr. King. I appreciate the Cash App is $DwannBrown. The same way you spell his first name, but instead of B, put my whole last name, Brown. $DwannBrown is my Cash App. I love Dr. King. Dr. King is, man, proud to say he comes from our bloodline. You see, you about to smoke some White Widow? I don't know what I'm smoking on right now. I bought like 2 ounces of weed about a month ago. I bought about 2 ounces of weed about a month ago, and I'm still smoking on that. Although I'm almost done, I'm about to re-up and get another ounce of weed tomorrow. Probably take about a week and a half to smoke that ounce. What's up, Trey Day? What's up, Quan? But see, Martin Luther King, I'm so glad more and more black people are starting to get to really know who the real Dr. King is, instead of that sorry-ass version they try to put out to us. That's why I don't like these. That's one thing I don't like about these NBA King Day games. I watch basketball all day on mute. You hear me? On mute. I'll listen to the podcast and listen to music. Because all day on these damn NBA King Day games, all they do is talk about, I like Martin Luther King, because Martin Luther King had a dream, and his dream said he wanted us all to fuck white women, and that was Martin Luther King's dream. And now that I got 3 white bitches, I'm realizing his dream. That's all you fucking hear on them NBA goddamn Martin Luther King dedication speeches. A bunch of dumb niggas ain't never read a word he said. They could barely read the cue card. I like Martin Luther King, because Martin Luther King said he had a dream that we can play basketball and shoot 3-pointers. Like, no, he didn't say that. Fucking dumb jock. But you know how they really tried to whitewash Dr. King. It's just really cool. In the last 5 years or so, black people have started, really last 5, 10 years, black people are really, really, really starting to speak up and talk about who the real Dr. King is. And I thank Dick Gregory for that, and I thank YouTube for that, and the online media. A lot of us saw Dr. John Henry Clark's video on Dr. King when we all got on YouTube in the last 10 years. You saw Dr. Ben talk about Dr. King on YouTube. You saw, and really Dick Gregory. I think I'm in a class with all you. I think we all in the same class of the people here listening to me right now. We used to listen to them Dick Gregory interviews with Ronald Hurt back in 2012, 2013. All them Dick Gregory interviews, and Dick Gregory would talk about who the real Dr. King is. And that caused us all to start looking him up more and finding out more than what they told us in school. What's up, Eduardo? Yeah, Quan, that's when Dick Gregory really broke down Dr. King, that's what got me to be like. And then Tavis Smiley wrote a book called Death of a King. That helped me out a lot too. Tavis Smiley's, that book is kind of old. I was still watching, not old, it's not old, but I was still watching TV for my information back then when he wrote that book. You know how it is. We was all still watching TV for our information before we jumped all the way on YouTube. So what's up, man? You have a good one, bro. Yeah, and so that book Tavis Smiley wrote, Death of a King, pointed out a whole lot of stuff. And then Dick Gregory, and then since then, this past weekend, Professor Black Truth did 2 dope videos on Dr. King, one on Saturday and one today. Jason Black did gave a different perspective. The video I did last year on Dr. King was a different perspective. And what I like is it's a whole bunch of different perspectives. And people are intelligent enough to listen to them all. Like, I think like one of the issues that we get into as black people is we sometimes take on the European mentality of there can only be one, and we fight. Like, we gotta understand that whole scarcity mentality, one versus the other, right or left. That's a European thought process. We as a people understand that this 360, the truth is 360 all the way around. So opposing point of views isn't necessarily an argument. It's just like, put it like this. If you watching a game, it's been sports on all days, so let's go with that example. You're watching a basketball game. If you sitting behind the basket, you have a different point of view of what happened in that game than someone sitting along the sideline on a courtside seats. They have a different point of view than the people sitting in the 300 stands. And nobody's point of view is wrong. One point of view may sound contradictory to another point of view. That's only because you're seeing it from a different angle, point of view. Your point, that's a word. Just break the word down. Point of view or viewpoint. The words aren't view whole, view all. It's viewpoint. And when people recognize that when you see something or when you read something from someone, it's just a point of view. And just because people are saying covering different points don't mean that there's necessarily an argument. You got to ingest it all. Like, my point of view that I did on Dr. King on my video I did last year had a totally different angle than Professor Black Truth's point of view and his angle. And his angle had a different point of view than Jason Black's angle this weekend. Like, the angles were different, but everybody contributed to the whole and gave a better picture of Dr. King. You know what I mean? It was 2012, 11, 13. You're right, Dame Dash. It was a whole bunch of good ass interviews back in raw days of YouTube before they started shadow van and shit. I swear, the shadow van shit, boy. But we still find it. We still find each other. This is a joint. This is a paper joint. I used to smoke only papers, but papers fucking... If you don't smoke these hoes every 5 seconds, they go out. You gotta fucking pull like you in a marathon race to keep these hoes lit. What's up, Ben Frank? Yeah, Dick Gregory, man, was a blessing. Dick Gregory's a blessing. Like, for me, sometimes I just like to be thankful. Because think about this. This is a thought process that goes in my mind. And I'm going to see if it goes in y'all's too. But for me, I like to be thankful of the people that I shared the planet with. Like, I got to be on Earth the same time as these people. You know, because sometimes you look back in history, it would have been great to be on Earth at the same time as Imhotep, or at the same time as fucking, I don't want to say Frederick Douglass, so I don't know if I want to well, if I was a free man during the time of Frederick Douglass, but I don't know if I wanted to share the planet with Frederick Douglass. There was some other shit going on during that time. But we got to, like, I didn't get to share the planet with Dr. King or Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey. They were all gone by the time I got here. But we got to share the planet with fucking Dick Gregory, Prince, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder. Like, I didn't get to share the planet with Duke Ellington or Count Basie. But I get to share the planet and go see Stevie Wonder and Frankie Beverly. And I'm appreciative of that. Like, I try to appreciate shit like that because at some point, all these people gonna be gone. Like, Brother Dick Gregory is gone now. But I got to meet him. I got to go see him do some stand-up. I was actually supposed to perform that night that he was on. But the cool-ass comedy club, the J-Spot here in L.A., well, I don't want to say all that, but put it like this. The J-Spot put a white comic up to open for Dick Gregory instead of me. That's some shit I'll never forget. But the person that made that decision to put the white boy up to open up for Dick Gregory instead of me, that was also the same person that got me on Fox Soul, so I can't get too mad. That was also the same person that got me on Fox Soul. Yeah, we got to share the planet with Kobe, Mike. Dick Gregory, like, I never understood what Dick Gregory meant when he said, I don't have to prove nothing by your ignorance. I never knew what he meant when he said that. Well, I kind of knew what he meant. Like, conceptually, I knew what he meant. But I didn't really know what he meant until I got on YouTube over the last year and a half, coming up on 2 years. Because I be forgetting on YouTube, people don't know you. Here on YouTube, people only know you for what they see. They don't know the backstory, nor am I willing to share. They don't know the nuances. They just see you as somebody on that podcast. Like, a lot of people on this internet thing don't realize that niggas had lives before this internet shit and still got lives outside of this internet shit. It's just what a nigga does for a couple hours every few days, but it's still 22 more hours in a day that motherfuckers don't see me. So, like, I'll say something and it'll be based on some shit that I've seen. And, like, I've seen and been around so much, I would probably, to people with that kind of a bitter hater mindset, they would think I was lying if I told half the stories of the shit that I saw and dropped the names that I've seen these stories with. Like, well, people from LA wouldn't know. They would understand. Because if you're from LA, if you're born and raised here, I definitely ain't the only one. A lot of us have similar stories. But if you ain't from here, half the stories I tell you, you niggas will think I'm lying. So you go online and you'll say some shit. And then it's always 2 or 3 idiots that want to argue with you and say that didn't happen. And then the minute you be like, well, nigga, I was there. No, you just a hater. So that's when I realized what Dick Gregory was saying when he said, I don't have to prove the truth by your ignorance. It's like, what? I remember about a year ago, I would still argue with people on Instagram back in I really, nowadays on IG, I'll just delete your comment and keep moving. I don't really care. But at the same time, I don't want you getting any energy off me, so I'll just delete your comment and there you go. But I will, like a year ago, I will argue with niggas, and then it just hit me. Dick Gregory's words just hit me, like slapped the shit out of me. I'm like, why am I arguing with this motherfucker? I was actually there. I appreciate the Cash App cut the check. I appreciate that. But one day I was arguing with somebody on IG about some shit, and I was like, why am I arguing, Nick, with somebody who wasn't there, trying to prove that I was there? That's what Dick Gregory's words meant by I don't have to prove the truth by your ignorance. Even if I can get 2 or 3 people to prove if a person got a point of view, they mad at something, they don't want to believe something, they ain't gonna fucking believe it. And it ain't my goddamn job to prove it. So, man, Dick Gregory was right about that. He said, Eric Valley, you had some partisans in the NFL? Yes. So, yeah, if you had 2 partisans in the NFL, I know you've been around some ignorant ass shit. I had partners in the NFL, NBA. I coach players that have made it to the NBA. I'm from LA, so I was getting some shit I would just get invited to, knowing somebody who knew somebody, just Playboy Mansion, every All-Star weekend for about 10 years, Grammy parties, Oscar parties, Emmy parties. And sometimes just casual conversation. You just be up on some shit. I'm a drummer too. I just come up and you will hear niggas talking about some shit, and you realize you around 2 icons. Like, both of these niggas got like multiple Grammys, and I'm sitting in the middle of this conversation listening to them talk about whatever. Man, if I told this story, niggas would think I'm lying. So let me just shut my fucking mouth. And the Boondocks was crazy, man. I miss the Boondocks. That's right, maybe it's me. When you're black and well-diverse in subjects, people do want to call you names. People want to just, I'm telling y'all right now, it's like, it took me forever to finally get my ass online to become more public. I started doing stand-up at the end of 2009, basically beginning in 2010. And I purposely kept my ass away from the spotlight because I did not like it. All my friends went to it. All the people that I got, that my contemporaries, all them niggas blew up. Daphne Springs, Jade, well, y'all know him as Big Ja. Shit, all London Brown. My comedy class, early, that class that I was in, shit, Teddy Ray, all them niggas. Brennan, I can't even, sometimes I look up and see niggas' Instagram followers and be like, God damn, these niggas is really famous. Tony Baker was like a few years before me. Tony Baker's in a class with Sidney Castillo and DC Irvin and Ida Rodriguez. But, man, I see what niggas is doing, and it'd be like so fucking dope. But I didn't really get on YouTube until like 2 year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Cause I'm like, I don't want to argue with people, but I like to teach and I like cracking jokes. But I ain't about to sit here and argue with a whole bunch of dumb niggas. I'm not about to do that shit. And then when Craig started Craig Facts, he hit me up and I'm like, let's do it. I'm thinking Craig Facts is gonna be like 500 views, a show. I'm over here thinking like we can do this shit, and that maybe at some point it'll blow up. But I'm thinking when we started Craig Facts, in my mind, I'm telling y'all honestly what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, okay, we'll get up to 500 views a show, maybe 100 live in the chat room. Every podcast will have 1,000 views, 1,500 views, maybe 2,000 views, and that's it, man. And that's how it started. But then, like by the summer 2020, niggas just started really watching. And I remember because we had gone to twice a week, and I was like, man, I ain't about to do no damn twice a week. I got other shit to do. I'm gonna do once a week. Then niggas just started really watching that show. I was like, God damn, okay, people watch it. And then all of a sudden you wake up and the shit that you doing, be all the way the fuck out there on TV and like all across the internet. Nigga, I didn't ask for that shit. I just be up there having fun with my friends. Craig is my friend. Like, that's my nigga right there. Y'all don't understand. There'd be plenty of times when Craig used to be a truck driver. I'll be up. I know that nigga on the road driving somewhere. I just hit that nigga up. We be on the phone for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, masterminding, like thinking about how we gonna do it, how we gonna blow up, how we gonna get better, how we gonna be better comedians. We just was trying to be better comedians, trying to do better with our set and everything. We wasn't thinking about, me and Craig follow the Neely Fuller compensatory concept code. We talk a lot. But when we talk, it's always constructive. You ain't ever gonna hear us. We never gossip about shit. It's always constructive conversation. How is we gonna win? And then Craig Facts blew up. And then my show, after I did that Judge Joe Brown interview, this YouTube channel got like a lot bigger, and after really 5150. And then it's like, oh shit, now niggas is actually listening to what I'm saying. But I said all that to say this shit. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm a regular ass nigga. And if somebody come me sideways, I'm gonna cuss them out. I'm gonna talk shit. People be like, Dwan, you teach. You a leader in the black community. No, the fuck I ain't no goddamn leader. I'm a shit talking nigga that likes to read and teach. But I'm a shit talking nigga first. I'm a shit talking nigga first. And that's the part that threw me off. And so I had to learn. But going back to Dick Gregory, his words came, that's when Dick Gregory's words rang true for me. When he was like, I ain't gotta prove the truth by your ignorance. When that shit came back up in my head, I was like, man, what the fuck am I arguing for? Let me go back to just being me. I ain't gotta prove shit to these niggas. Either they believe it or they don't. I don't give a fuck. I'm totally divorced from the outcome of what I say. I say, and I want you to research it. Look me up. I'm probably gonna be right. I'm gonna be right most of the time. Every now and again, players fuck up. I'm dyslexic. I may say the wrong year, the wrong date, the wrong name, because the nigga dyslexic as hell. But for the most part, I'm gonna be right. And if somebody don't like it, that ain't my fucking problem. What's up, Jay Smooth? What's up, Don Smith? Yeah. What are my thoughts on Jamila Lemieux? That's her job. That's what Jamila Lemieux does. That's the only reason why she's employed. She's employed to be a rebel rouser. That's her. That's what she do. Jamila Lemieux is a rebel rouser. Like, when have you ever seen anything constructive by Jamila Lemieux? If that bitch writing, it's gonna be some destructive, divisive bullshit. Yeah, Corn, he said, y'all have time and patience to argue. Yeah. 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 Uh, instance and ashtrays. Customized Zippos for my show. I brand my shit, boy. You don't just study history to say, hey, I know history. You study history to learn from that shit and not get fucked up. Like, that's the only reason why you study history. To learn what happened, where the niggas fuck up, so I don't fuck up. So anything I do, I own the trademark to Hotepish, and I have a trademark pending for incense and ashtrays. I brand my shit, boy. What's up, old head dudes? Who's Neely Fuller? Neely Fuller Jr. is the person who wrote the United Compensatory Concept Code to counter racist science. When it comes to, he's the one that coined the term racism, white supremacy, and taught black people or anyone who want to listen how to replace the system of white supremacy with the system of justice. He's the wisdom behind Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. He's the wisdom behind a lot of things that Tariq does. Jason Black. He's the wisdom behind a lot of black people who do things in a way that's constructive for black society. You should get his book at producejustice.com. Get his book at producejustice.com. Listen to his YouTube, and his show is kind of, because Neely Fuller got a host named Mr. Bobby. Like I say, look, Neely Fuller got a bunch of interviews with Carl Nelson. Look up the interviews he has with Carl Nelson, and look up the hip hop cartoon dude. I think his name is Carlito Way 44. He diced a lot of Neely Fuller wisdom up in the cartoons. I think his name's like Carlito Way 44. Look up that nigga's cartoons. He's been doing it for years. But I would say watch Neely Fuller show, but Mr. Bobby, the host, oh my God, that nigga. This motherfucker. No disrespect to Mrs. Bobby, but when he read, he sound like he reading and trying to figure out a Rubik's Cube at the same time. He'd be like, John from Seattle, Washington, writes, Mr. Fuller, if the color green is mean, is a nigga named Gene with the color green. I'm like, what? Why are you reading so slow, man? And why are you reading that whole fucking question? It's obviously a troll, but he'll read the whole fucking troll question. You'll be like, I think Mr. Bobby's heart is in the right place, but that nigga, it's hard to listen to Neely Fuller when he hosted. Hold on. Hold on. I had to pull my other joint out of this. I love Neely Fuller, but like, goddamn, Mr. Bobby. B. Paula, you said Mr. Bobby getting better? No, he ain't. I love Shahrazad Ali too, Doogie 5'4". I love Shahrazad Ali. Man, she's so goddamn dope. Yeah, Carl Nelson be on point, Neely Fuller. Carl Nelson? Yes. Neely Fuller had an interview with Carl Nelson just about sometimes it was in December, like sometime like in mid-December. Go back and look it up. But Mr. Bobby, I don't know, man. Mr. Bobby, he reads like he's washing his drawers at the same time. Like you remember, like when your grandmama had like the wash sink in the back with the little washboard. And you know how it is, like when you're doing something you can't quite pay attention to what you're saying and doing at the same time, so you talk a little slower and you emphasize the words a little like this. That's how Mr. Bobby is when he's reading. Like, what are you doing? Are you washing your underwear on a washboard, Mr. Bobby? Why are you talking? But, Mr. Bobby, I'm not going to say anymore. Mr. Bobby is a blessing. I'll say this. I'm just cracking jokes. Mr. Bobby is a blessing. He's there every week. And because he's there every week, we get to hear Neely Fuller's wisdom as long as we can. Neely Fuller's in the 90s. So look, I'm just talking shit. Mr. Bobby is willing. And hey, my hat goes off to him. I'm still going to talk shit about Mr. Bobby. Because I like talking shit. But that's something else as black people we got to be proud of. Look, I was thinking about this shit today. We a shit-talking ass culture, but when we talking shit, we know it ain't personal. Like, not to talk about certain things, but that's just how we get down. We don't take it a certain way. I be noticing people from other cultures, when we get it like, and it's not all, but a lot of people from especially like African culture, that African booty scratcher shit really hurt their feelings. Like these niggas is in their 50s and still can't get over African booty scratcher. I be like, nigga, do you know I was called 10 times worse by my own granddaddy? I'm like, man. I mean, make sure this shit lit even. We talk a little bit of shit and move on. A lot of these people from these other cultures they really get their ass hurt from a little bit of shit talk. That's why, Quan, we're multifaceted people. We'll talk shit, call you anything other than the child of God, and then take you in the house and feed you, or, do some fly shit with each other. That's our culture, man. Other people down it because they can't keep up. Look, people only criticize. Let me tell you something. This is a cultural thing. People only criticize what they can't do. Let me say it again. When it comes to cultural criticisms, people only criticize what they can't do. Black people, do we look at what they got in other cultures, in Mexican culture, Indian culture, with envy? We look at other cultures and be like, oh shit, that's dope. You never see us. You got all these black women named China Doll and all these fucking black dudes that as soon as if you get a little wavy hair, I remember back in the early days of the internet, back in Yahoo chat days, any nigga with halfway wavy hair wanted to call himself Puerto Rican. Black people, for the most part, don't really trip on other cultures. We've always had an infatuation with African stuff. Shit, you can go back to the early 90s and see that. All the medallions that niggas sell. I was in Lemur Park today. African this, African that. We really don't mind other people. Hell, half the time we think what they got is better than what we got. And that's our biggest problem. We be thinking other groups are better than us. And we be all feeling bad and shit. Like, man, that other group, they whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop-de-wham. Meanwhile, other groups look at us, always got some shit to say. Always want to call somebody ghetto. They want to act like us. But the minute they amongst each other, these niggas, all they do is criticize us. They do that because they can't do what the fuck we do. That's why. We gotta know when we winning. That's a win, nigga. The only thing we gotta do is have some kind of self-respect and self-love. And with self-respect and self-love, we'll honor it. And once we honor ourselves, other people honor us. We're not honored because we don't honor ourselves. You treat people how to treat you. You treat people how to treat you. That's just a law of nature. That's true of humans. That's true of fucking animals. You know how porcupines treat people how to treat them? The minute one of these fucking animals try to eat a porcupine, he throw them spikes up. Nigga, back off. Even a little bullshit ass porcupine got a defense mechanism to show other animals how to treat them. Black folks be like, other people be talking shit. We be like, man, it's okay. Or worse yet, we'll join in with them. Look at my interview I just did with Barbershop Conversations, talking about Bob Arum. As soon as a black man is suing for racism, it's other black people, George Foreman, jumping in. Oh no, Bob ain't racist to me. We be the first ones to help other people out. But then the minute a nigga fuck up, you got every criticism of what he should do, what he shouldn't do. Well, he shouldn't have said this, and he shouldn't have said that. Man, shut your shitting ass up, nigga. Your daddy should have drained you on his balls. That's what should have happened when you think talking like that. Niggas be the first ones to talk about what a black person should have did. Well, I'm the kind of motherfucker. The first thing I do is forget a black person. Well, maybe they didn't know. Maybe they didn't understand. Well, they may have had trauma in their lives that caused them to think in a compromising way. People be getting mad at me. They be like, DeJuan, man, you ain't always got to say it like that. Yes, the fuck I do. I forgive, bless, and love black people. Now, when they hurt me, look, I don't get hurt too much because I have a good energy about me. But when they come my way, I've never been harmed by nobody. But I have been fucked over. I forgave them motherfuckers too. Not for them, but for me. I ain't gonna shoot them. So since I ain't gonna shoot them, they ain't do nothing that bad. First of all, they ain't do nothing bad enough for me to shoot them. But if I ain't gonna shoot them and off them, why am I gonna go around carrying resentment and hurt and pain and shit? I ain't carrying that shit. Fuck all that. Nigga, you better eat some fucking mushrooms and get over it. Tonight's a full moon. Tonight would have been a great night to do some mushrooms, do some shrooms. Do some shrooms, smoke a joint, get over that shit. Don't be harboring and hate and anger for nobody. That's some bullshit. Yeah, a Katt talk. What are my thoughts on Dr. Umar? What's up, Star? My thoughts on Dr. Umar is he has great information on school systems. He's my inspiration for the company I opened up Breakthrough, helping kids with the IEP process because I was working mental health when I discovered Dr. Umar on Hidden Colors. And it was like the man was speaking my language. So when it comes to the schools, his thoughts on the IEP process, stick to Dr. Umar. When it comes outside of the schools, you make your own decisions. I'm not gonna, he ain't done nothing to me personally, so you make your own assessment of that man. I can't give you an assessment. But I will say this, when it comes to the school system, when it comes to the special needs process, he's 100,000% on point. Because I've personally gotten over 200 kids out of special education and back into regular mainstream school with my company. Thank you to Dr. Umar's information. And it's funny too, I just had a reunion from my old job earlier today. That's the only reason why I didn't do incense and ashtrays earlier. Cause we had like a Zoom reunion, like of a bunch of my old coworkers at that job. So, but when it comes to Umar, I'm gonna stick to what he does well. Everything else, you gotta observe. That's another thing is black people. Let me just say this real quick before I go back to read the chat room. I don't know if y'all noticed it, but like when I go on a tangent, I don't look at the chat room because I'll get distracted. But another thing is, as people, we gotta really tap in. That's why I wrote that book, No Time to Waste. You gotta tap into yourself. The age of being led by the nose, and this isn't to anyone who asked a question. This isn't to anyone. I'm speaking in general. I'm not speaking to anybody in here or about, I'm speaking in general. This is the age you got to open up your third eye. You got to see the shit for yourself. You got to be able to feel people out for yourself. You can feel them out. You know who is who. Your heart knows. Your soul knows. You get the notion. You know when you're around some bullshit and when you're around some genuine shit. Some shit just got to be seen and observed. You can speak to a nigga telepathically, look at the motherfucker in their eyes and see that we on the same page. We gotta get back to that level. Gotta get back to that level. It's cool to understand people's perspectives on things, but when it comes to assessments of people, you gotta really get to know your instincts. You gotta get in touch. You gotta really get in touch with your instincts. God gave you them instincts for a reason, black people, and our instincts are the best. We got to use them hoes, like for real, for real. You know, bitch ass energy. Like you ever be somewhere and you see a group of people, and you know one of the people, and it's like you know one, but you don't know the other three. You know one of the other people, they're gonna probably be a little bit solid, but it's gonna be that one nigga in the crew that's gonna be like, this nigga got a bitch ass energy. And you'll feel it, but you won't trust it. You'll feel it, but you won't trust it. When you feel a bitch ass energy, believe it. That's why I just come on here, man. I don't put on no persona when I get on this shit. I'm who the fuck I am. I don't give a fuck about none of this shit. I am profound and profane. I talk shit. I fuck up. I'm a regular ass nigga. And people gonna either take me or leave me. I don't give a fuck either way, but take me or leave me. This is the age of realness. This ain't the age of that putting on fake ass personas. That shit. Personas are corny. That's why I don't even like acting. I hate reading other people's lines. That's why you don't see me in sketches. I fucking hate reading people's lines. Star Mike. I saw a tweet where Mike Tyson. They said Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, but Mike Tyson tweeted earlier that he never even talked to Jake Paul. So a lot of times these blue checks just write shit for the attention, and I'm leaning towards somewhere in the middle. Yeah, energy don't lie. I appreciate that, Erica. Yeah, I don't. I just shit, just be yourself, man. I ain't got time for all that. Like now, like when I'm on stage doing like just say if I'm doing a stand up comedy. Stand up comedy is a persona because it's me, but on extras. Like I'm way different. I won't say way different, but if I'm doing like a stand up comedy set, a lot of people off stage are never, people who barely know me wouldn't think I'm a comic. Well, I'm a Gemini. Half the people that I know would be like, oh, hell yeah, easily you're a comic. And the other half would be like, you a comic? I'm a Gemini. I got different personalities. But when I'm on stage doing stand-up, I'm performing now, so it's me, but I put 10 extras on it. Like I put extras on it. Like the examples are gonna be extreme. But that's how you create, because in stand-up, it's an art. I have to be able to illustrate to you people that are in my mind. You don't know these people. You don't know their background. You don't know nothing about nothing. So I got to create contradictions in the setup and in the punchlines to create a dynamic of laughter in the crowd. So you can't just come. I can't do stand-up comedy the way I'm talking right now. Like I can set up a joke like this, but when I do stand-up, my energy gets really big. And that's one thing that throw people off, because I'm a fat nigga, but I got a fuck ton of energy. I ain't one of these lazy fat niggas. I ain't one of these hog-head cheese-eating fat niggas. Nah. My energy is big. What's up, Jonathan? Yeah, man. This shit. But we gotta get to the point to where we trust ourselves. And when you trust yourself, you're gonna run across other people that trust themselves. And telepathic communication is a communication that happens between people who trust themselves and what they see. Because you know how it is. You be out sometimes kicking it, and you'll see some, God damn, that truck's lights are bright. Hi. And you'll see some bullshit go on, and you can look at another person that see that same bullshit, and y'all have a whole fucking conversation in about a 1.5 second long eye contact. You done had 10 minutes of conversations in one look. We've all been there. So when you see people pop up online, you'll get certain, and we all ain't gonna get it the first time. But every time you come across them, it's That's how Sean King was for me. I liked everything Sean King was doing, but every time I would click on a Sean King article, like in 2013, I'd be like, But I try to like this nigga or this white dude. I tried to like Sean King because he kind of looked like Rex Chapman, and I like Rex Chapman when he played for the Phoenix Suns and the Charlotte Hornets. And, and I tried to like Sean King, but every time I would read something he write, it'd be like, And look where we are now. You make your own decision on him. I appreciate that, Star. Yeah. You say neighbors hate me? Well, think about my neighbors. I'm out here talking shit. I'm smoking weed around the building all the time. And who they gonna complain to? Me? I run the fucking building. I got my own private garage, but it's funny too. Like I got one of my tenants upstairs. They kind of like older black people, but y'all know them kind of black folks that are like snooty. Like you got that snooty cousin that every time it's something going on, she the one that probably wear the big hat at church, and she always judging the family members and calling all the little girls hussies and shit. That's one of my neighbors, and I be on my porch right here smoking weed, and they'll get out their car and they'll come walking down the path, and she'll give me that snotty ass look, and I'll be sitting there smirking because I'll be like, "Who you gonna complain to, bitch? Me?" You need to move? Well, your lease is up. You're on 30 days now. So if you got to move, yes, feel free. I'll give you a good reference. And the worst part about it is her husband smokes cigarettes. Nigga, I don't feel ashamed to smoke weed when you smelling some fucking cigarette smoke all goddamn day. Cigarette smoke is nasty. Can we freestyle a session? I can't rap. I can't rap. You don't want to hear me rap. You don't want to see me rap Christmas gifts. You don't want to see me doing nothing with rap. I can play the drums to rap music. That's it. You need a funky rap groove and 92 beats a minute? I got you for that. I got you on that. I'll lay a pocket down all day. But don't ever ask me to rap. Shit. Nigga, I'm not H. Rap Brown. I'm DwannBrown. I'm D. Kent Rap Brown, nigga. Yeah. On the drums, like whenever we do another show at that rehearsal studio, we want to start doing a show live here in LA. Like we was talking about that today. We want like to do like a once a month live here in LA or maybe twice a month. I don't know. We want to do that though. We're just looking for the right venue. We just looking for the right venue. That'll be fun. And if we do something live here in LA, I'm gonna bring my drum set. You're right, Quan. Everyone has a vice. Hey, if somebody want to smoke crack, let them smoke crack. I don't give a shit. One thing about me, I've always been a kind of person. You do what you do. Now I got my own speed. People that do certain drugs, they're not welcome in my house. But if I'm in your house, you can do anything you want to do. If we're in neutral ground, you can do anything you want to do. You ain't gonna be snorting no lines in my house. But I don't give line snort niggas my address anyway, so I ain't gotta worry about that. Anybody you see in my house is gonna be smoking weed. Or not. Hey, you know one of my funnest fight parties I ever had? The first time I ever smoked weed in front of my dad was the Tank versus Leo Santa Cruz pay-per-view fight. I had a fight party here at my house, and my Kamira came through, Teddy Ray, Slink, Craig. Like the whole Craig Fast crew came, Charlie, Brandon, and I had, who else came? It was like a few other people who came through, who you niggas know. Half the time I don't be knowing these niggas is All Def famous, because I never watched All Def. All Def was always corny to me. So a lot of times I'll just look at somebody I'm cool with, and I'll look up like, God damn, they got 200,000 followers. But I didn't see a goddamn thing they did on All Def, because I don't watch that shit. But we had a fight party, and Larry was out here. And Larry was out here from Houston. And we went to my man cave, and my dad was here too. My dad came. And my dad went to the back, and he sat there while we smoked weed. I was like, God damn. I know I grew up watching my dad smoke weed, but my dad stopped smoking weed like back in 93. Back in 93, that's when the truckers union started testing for weed out here in California. So my dad sat weed down cold turkey. So my dad came out and sat with us when we smoked weed. That was a moment. That was a moment I'll never forget. I'm like, man, my dad was sitting there with me and Slink Johnson and Kamira. And I think Delore was here. Well, no, I don't think Delore was here for that one. Teddy. We got the Smoke Yours crew here in my crib. And my dad out here smoking weed. He didn't smoke with us. But he over here watching us pass weed. That shit was fucking surreal. A moment I'd never think would happen. Craig was here, but Craig kept his corny ass in the house. You know, Craig don't smoke, so his corny ass stayed in the house while we was all out here smoking. Yeah. No, I've never read Crisis of the Negro Intellectual. Never read that. Yeah, Larry from H-Town. Yeah, Larry called me earlier. I forgot to call that nigga back. Fuck, I'll call him later. I'll call that nigga tomorrow. Yeah, but we was out here. My pops. So when pops came up in the garage and smoked with us, like, well, watch us smoke, that shit was fucking surreal. Man, I love my dad, my mom. Man, I was trying to go hang out with my parents today because I spent part of King Day. I didn't post some pictures, but I spent part of King Day in Leimert Park. I was going to SOM Books because I want to buy this book. It's an audio book that I'm reading, but I want the actual hard copy because usually I'll listen to the audio book and then I'll speed read the hard copy, and that's how I keep it instilled in my memory. And when Black History, I'm reading a book for y'all for Black History Month on Black militancy in the 1950s. I'm gonna do a series of shows, or maybe one or two shows on Black people fighting back in the 1950s. You know what I mean? And so I'm doing some stuff. So I want the actual book so I can speed read it and memorize the names and all that shit for y'all. Told you I be putting effort into this show, like for real, for real. And but anyway, I went to Leimert Park, and then I was going to my dad's. I was gonna hang out with my mom and my dad, and they wasn't home. I'm like, what? I called him like, what the fuck? Well, of course I didn't say where the fuck y'all at. I'll never cuss my mom in a million goddamn years. I don't give a fuck how big I am. But I call them like, where y'all at? They're like, man, we on a drive. I'm like, I be having to schedule appointments now that my parents are retired. When they worked, I knew when the niggas was gonna be home, and I could be home and I could go there and they be there. 4 of the last 5 times I was going to see my parents, they were either on a drive, on the way to a casino, or spent a quick night in Vegas and didn't tell a nigga. Man, my parents are my inspiration. Like, I fucking love. That's why people be like, man, the black family is this. Like, I don't know the fuck y'all talking about. Like, I'm sorry you had a bad experience, but don't put us all in the same goddamn boat. My family's lovely. Shit. My wife spent all day with her parents today. I dated myself watching basketball because my wife was kicking it with her parents. Don't throw us all in that same fucking boat. Some of us have great fucking parents. And I don't mean to shit on those who don't. I don't want to make those who don't feel bad, but at the same time, one thing you can't do in life is suppress your experience to make other people feel a certain way. You have to be okay with expressing your experience. Now, you don't shit on people because your experience versus theirs. You don't look down on people, or at the same time, you should never, and this goes out to people who've had tough childhoods. Mind you, I spent my life working with children who had tough childhoods. 1,000 clients at least on my books. Don't ever feel down for your experience either. Don't ever let someone else's experience feel better than yours, or don't ever feel less than because you perceive someone else's situation is better than yours. Remember this shit in life, and this will help you with depression. Remember this in life. You come here to face the necessary challenges you need to face to become the best person you need to be. And 7 billion people, or almost 8 billion people now, damn near, 8 billion people, that's 8 billion different experiences. So whatever experience you face in this reality is a necessary experience. I had a great fucking wonderful childhood and great parents. That wasn't my challenge. My challenge came in other areas. My challenges came in other areas. My challenges weren't in the home. They were definitely out the home, primarily school. In my environment, seeing a whole bunch of people get killed and shit, and church. I have other challenges that some people, like when I did my show in church the other day, I'm looking at people in the chat room and they like, man, I was able to figure that shit out by the time I was 10 years old. I'm like, God damn, that nigga figured that shit out 20 years before I did. I'm like, damn, I must have been slow. People all in the chat room was like, shit, I never believe that shit, man. I'm like, God damn, Dwan, was I slow, deaf, or dumb? These niggas was decades ahead of me, and they're younger than me, too. Like, God damn. But that was a challenge. You know, we all have different challenges, and so the key to life ain't judging one person's challenges for the other person's challenges. The key to life is just fixing your own challenges. And people that tell you certain challenges, but they ain't gonna tell you everything. I'm definitely not gonna tell you niggas everything. I ain't certain shit is private. You dig? But I embrace that, and you should too. Man, people ain't gotta walk a mile in your shoes, nigga. All you gotta do is learn how to walk in your own fucking shoes. Make your shoes comfortable. Keep walking in your shoes until you figure out how to get some more comfortable shoes and keep walking in them. Don't ever be like, man, you don't know what it's like to be me. You don't know what it's like to be me, man. You gotta, man, shit, walk a mile in my shoes. Nigga, you tripping over your own shoes. What the fuck I wanna walk in them old clumsy ass shoes for, nigga? Nigga, I got my own shoes to walk in. I wear 13s, nigga. You wear 9s. Fuck you talking about walking my shoes, nigga. I wear 13s. If you don't get your little size 7 dice size looking ass feet out of here, talking about walking my shoes, fuck you and your shoes, nigga. I'm trying to figure out my goddamn shoes. Nigga, don't ever feel less than because someone else's experience. And don't ever feel better than because of your experience. Because the shit that you feel like you riding high in, you in the basement on somebody else's elevator. So it's all an experience. That's all this shit is, an experience. So yes, back to what I was saying. I fucking love my parents. They're the goddamn best. Shit, when I had the COVID, my parents goddamn cussed me out for ordering Instacart. My mom was like, man, we retired. And my dad called. My mom called me first. Like, we retired. I'll be your Instacart. I'm like, I ain't trying to fuck with y'all. We drop it off at your door. And hour later, my dad called. Hey, man, you know we got you, man. I don't know what the fuck you need. You better save your money. My dad cheap as hell. You better save your money, man. Instacart, spend all that goddamn money on some goddamn DoorDash shit. I'll be a goddamn DoorDash. All right, Pops. All right, Pops. She said, your daughter got you out of church. Yeah, man. Don't ever, man, look. I would see the kids that I worked with, and I would see some of the pains and traumas that they would go through. And I have so much admiration for them. And they feeling bad. I'm looking at them like, young man, young woman, you don't have nothing bad to feel for. As a child, you placed in this situation. You didn't say, hey, God, yeah, I do believe we choose to come here. I do believe that. But that's just a belief. No kid, when they born, come through that birth canal and be crying, they don't come be born and get slapped up into this earth to be like, I want this fish pussy face bitch to take care of me and ignore me and be on her cell phone all goddamn day and not give me my needs, chase men and neglect me, leave me to my own devices while she handles her devices. No kid fucking wants that. And I would see these kids that I work with. I had this one kid that I work with. I can't say his name. His mom, he was in like one of them facilities for a while, like group homes. He came home, and I was there to facilitate his return home and do, mental health with him for a few months and the family. And so the boy would have a lot of bad behaviors. They lived in Watts, right across the street from the King Drew Medical Center. And the boy would have these bad behaviors. But the mom, she had a bunch of kids by a bunch of different dudes. And she was always like cut with these different boyfriends and not paying the kids attention. And so the kid had an outburst. He's had a bunch of outbursts, but this is one of his biggest outbursts. He had an outburst. He was cussing at his mom. He had a 2x4 with nails in it that he was swinging at her. They called the police, they called the fire department, and they called me. And I'll never forget this day. It's a Friday. This was a field job, so I'm thinking I'm done. Usually on Fridays, I didn't see clients on Fridays. So I had just went up to the Hollywood Bowl to buy tickets for a concert. I would go to the box office to buy tickets. I just went to the Hollywood Bowl to buy tickets to this concert. Hollywood, I get a call. I gotta go see this client. This kid is in Watts. I don't know if you know LA. It's like 2 o'clock on a Friday. I gotta go from Hollywood to Watts. It's a long fucking drive in that goddamn traffic at that time. So I get to Watts, and this kid swinging a 2x4 at his mom. And I had to come. The police sat their corny asses outside. The fire department was like, we ain't going in there. So who goes in there? Me. I go in there, Go calm down. Tell him to calm down. He's swinging a 2x4. I get him to sit it down. Once I get him to sit down, then the police department come in and the fire department. And so he starts crying, jumps in my arms, crying profusely. And the mom says, see, that's why I had you in that group home, because you a bitch. You a little bitch. And that's why I'm going to send your little bitch ass back to the group home. And then that boy fell out. You ever see like the air energy come out of a person? You know that feeling? When they get that cry, and that shit's like all they air gets sucked out. Yeah, that happened. And it was like, damn, these kids, it be some fucked up shit going on. To hear mom do that. And that was one of, I have hundreds of stories like that. Dealing with parents and kids. And me being the one that's, the liaison. And so I got a real perspective on how life really worked. And so I would see what these youngsters was going through, and I had nothing but admiration for them, dude. Like, so people who have gone through bad experiences, tough experiences with your family, we have an epidemic in our community. This is something we gotta talk about. Jealous moms jealous of their daughters. Daughter get to that certain age where daughter's starting to show a little shape. Mama losing her shape. Mama get jealous and start treating her daughter like her competition. That's a problem in our community. Fathers, the ones who are around, I ain't speaking to the absent ones, but the ones who are around, living vicariously through their children, through sports, obsessively pushing their children in sports, making their children be the basketball player they could never be. We got a fuck ton of problems to deal with in our community. And there's a lot of people in this chat room and there's a lot of people in this life that's gone through that. And if you've gone through that, you shouldn't feel bad. That was a condition you were placed in. And you have to separate yourself from your condition. You are not your condition. Your condition is your environment. Are you the fucking tree down the street? Or is that tree in your environment? Are you the grass? Are you the clouds? Are you the fire hydrant? Are you the car? No. All that shit's in your environment. But the problem is, as a child, you associate your issues and your problems with your environment and you internalize it. And when we internalize it, it becomes a thing, an identity. And once it becomes an identity, usually by the age of 8 years old, you made these decisions in your life by the age of 8. So now you're 30, 40, whatever years old, living by an 8-year-old's decision of the world around you. And that's what goes on and plays a major part in depression. And that's plays a major part in people's insecurity. That's the insecure person's identity. All that shit can be fixed. That's a good thing about it. All that shit can be fixed. But it requires therapy and knowledge of self. You can't have one without the other. Like, you can't go through all the therapy in the world and still not have some training and some information on knowledge of self. Gotta have both. And you can fix it. You can fix it. You can fix all this shit. Yeah. You can fix it. All this shit can be fixed. Because if you went through it, that means that's just your journey to be your highest self. That's all. And some people got, and then some, you can figure it out. It's not too big. It's not too much. Shit. Fuck else you niggas talking about? Oh yeah, mom, man. Mom, see, the media ain't been given a fair shake. It's like the man ain't here, and I'm not here to play sides. I'm here to solve problems, cause I have nothing but love for women and men. I don't see a separation between us, man, woman, child. That's God right there, the Trinity. That's the Holy Trinity. Man, woman, God, man, woman, child. Everyone's on an equal playing field for me, but I gotta address the bullshit. The women have been allowed to be like this, and society has supported it and not talked about it. But that issue with moms, I've just noticed that. You be looking at, like, they be doing mental health with the daughter, and you trying to figure it out, but you be looking at the moms and be like, I had this one mom, the kid, the daughter was like 14, and she was a little chunky, but the mom was like, see, look at her, shit, she fatter than me, and I'm almost 40. What? And I'm like, dang, lady, you just said that? And then the little girl over there crying, and everybody trying to figure out why she at school fighting. No. The fighting is the latest branch to grow on this tree. The root is mama's disapproval of the daughter. And every child needs their parents' approval. And mom's open discuss with her daughter is a direct reflection on mom's relationship with herself. And then when it got to that point, you know what mom did? Mom canceled the services. Because mom wanted services that was going to deal with her daughter, not her crusty ass. I'm like, man. But as a man, if I bring this up, I'm going to be misogynist. That's why I just shut my fucking mouth for years. Yeah, man. The fuck is you talking about? I was reading the chat room. Yeah, you gotta speak truth to power. But unfortunately, when you do child therapy, the parents are the center of it. And it's the parents' relationship with therapy that's gonna be the ultimate decider. And unfortunately, when I did that style therapy, most parents they were invested up to the point it got to the parent. So I would just do my best. I wouldn't even follow the program they put out. I would just do my best to instill confidence in that child. I knew coming in, mom is not with it. Dad ain't around. So instead of me following these like fucking case manager therapy guidelines, let me just teach this kid knowledge of self, some cultural competence. Some cultural competence. And do that. Just get the fuck out, because this therapy thing ain't gonna work because mama's on some bullshit. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck Amir talking about. No escape, I grew up. What the fuck? Tell flat earthlings I come down. What the fuck? Somebody in here. Brother, are you drinking like a pineapple flavored Hennessy tonight or some shit? This nigga is drinking straight Hennessy on the rocks with like pineapple bitters. Like, I've never had pineapple in Hennessy, but I'm sure it's nasty. But I think that's what that brother's drinking tonight. Good brother normally, but I don't know. It is a full moon. It is a full moon. Someone couldn't that's it. That's meth. Yeah, I think that brother. Tonight's a full moon. Had I planned ahead? Nah, I'm cleaning out from shrooms. I went real heavy on shrooms last year. I did shrooms at least like once a month last year. Sometimes twice a month. I haven't done any shrooms in a minute. I'm gonna give myself like 3 months off shrooms. And I'm like, in a couple months, fuck. In a couple months, I'm gonna go to Lake Tahoe and just eat like 5 grams of shrooms. Well, that actually sounds nice. That sounds nice. I don't mind that when the actual muscle car has sounds. I hate when people with these little small ass Asian cars be having the Mexicans when they be having like 2005 Civics with them loud ass mufflers. Those are the people I want to beat up. That was a Charger. It actually has some muscle to it. So hey, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Yeah, no. Don't attribute that shit to shrooms. No. Don't. Shrooms. If he's on some shrooms, I doubt he'd be up in this motherfucker, especially this late. Well, it could be shrooms. Shrooms hit people differently. But shrooms, I'm telling you right now, I tell people, I'm not a doctor, first of all, but when you got some shit some trauma you want to work through, or some issues of like you can't forgive somebody, man, first get in a happy space, clean your room, clean your environment, sage that shit down, vacuum, you dirty ass niggas that don't vacuum. Wash all the dishes in your sink. Clean everything out your washer and dryer. Make your space real clean, and take some motherfucking shrooms and play some good ass music. And man, let it happen. Let it happen. I'll just be back. Yeah. What's up, Rob? That motherfucker Amir, goddammit. This nigga over here, he just finished drinking alcohol through his anus. You hear like them white boys do that shit, them white boy frat parties? They turn it upside down and pour some alcohol in through their anus so they can get a quicker rush. That's what this nigga Amir Lasser just finished doing. This nigga just finished having some anus alcohol. And he ass drunk. Then got on YouTube and was like, let's talk about rainbows and unicorns and muskets. Nigga, why are you talking about muskets and unicorns at the same time? Nah, I ain't tried riding on shrooms. When I be on shrooms, that's my time to let go and have fun. I'm not about to work while I'm on shrooms. Now, if I microdose, I might microdose and do some writing. As a matter of fact, I was saying, maybe if I microdose, but I don't microdose usually. Usually when I do shrooms, I have at least an eighth. Usually I do an eighth, sometimes 2/8 of shrooms when I shroom. At least an eighth. Like to me, an eighth is a microdose. But usually I do like 5 to 7.5. 5 to 7 grams of shrooms is usually what I do. And I used to be in them UCLA frat parties. I used to be in them UCLA frat parties back in the day. Back that year, the year the basketball team went to the national championship and got their ass kicked by Florida. Them 2 seasons, man. We used to be at them UCLA frat parties. They was corny. Let me tell you that first. The parties was corny, but sometimes they was fun still. We used to be like in the Sigma Nu white boys used to do like these foam parties. And I go. It was this little white bar named Maloney's by UCLA. Maloney's is over on was that Landfair? No, not that far up. I forgot the intersection of Maloney's, but anybody from LA know Westwood Village. And me and my boy Reggie, I had a CD. This back when Napster was around. This back in the Napster days. Before like Spotify and all that shit. We had a CD where we downloaded like the Hulk Hogan theme song and like a whole bunch of like 80s TV show intros like Mr. Belvedere, that show Out of This World. Would you like to swing on a star? Oh, We had a CD with all them corny ass songs like the Hulk Hogan theme song, and we would go to Maloney's, and we would have the DJ play that CD, and we did all kind of corny ass shit like that. Me and my boy Reggie. Anybody who know me on anybody who's a Facebook friend of me, see my boy Reginald Edward. You see us go, we still go back and forth. Or on IG. On IG, his name is, that's my dog. Been on since I was 9. Our friendship is corny as fuck, dog. Like, I got a corny ass side to me. And my boy, anytime I'm around my boy Reggie, it's gonna be some corny ass shit going on. But, nigga, we have a lifelong rivalry trying to piss each other off. And so putting that CD together in a bar was just an attempt to piss off Reggie, and I won that battle. I won the battle that night. And that's all we do. Like, we will post Instagram post up that other people will be like, huh? But it'll be just to piss off Reggie. But my boy Reggie, he loved them white girls. I never fucked with the white girls. But my boy Reggie, he loved being up at UCLA. And we was cool with the UCLA basketball team, so we got to go to all the parties and like be in they booth. And then like we just be chilling. But my boy Reggie, he loved the white girls. And I never judged him for it. We used to be in the sorority house on Hillgard at UCLA, and this nigga Reggie had a girlfriend that he stayed there with. He stayed in the sorority house for 2 semesters with his white girlfriend, and when she would go to class, he would fuck her dorm mates. And he did this shit, not especially for 2 quarters. For 2 quarters at UCLA, I think for 2 quarters, my boy Reggie stayed in a sorority house at UCLA. And he would fuck his girlfriend's sorority members when she would be in class at UCLA. Them days were fun as hell. Funny as hell. I did not fuck with none of them white girls, but I tell you this, I got a lifelong friendship, partnership with one of the UCLA girls from back in the day. And that's a lawyer of mine. She's a lawyer now. And she's an Asian woman. And she's cool as hell. We were just friends from back in the UCLA days. And anything legal I need done, she does it for me for free. Don't charge me. That's why you gotta like be open to everybody. I have an Asian woman, as much, and she sees the posts that she's my Facebook friend. She sees the posts that I put up about Asian businesses and the whole anti-Asian hate crime. But when people respect you and know that you have a genuine heart, they don't trip over little shit like that. Anything I need legal, I can hit her up. And she'll just be like, send me the files. And she don't bullshit. I will have my shit back later that same day. If I don't get my shit back the same day, it's because she had a lot of work. I appreciate her. She's a lifelong friend. See, that's what happens, fellas. You don't have to fuck everything you see. Sometimes it's just good to be friends with people. They turn out to be lawyers who give you free fucking legal advice. Tens of thousands of dollars of free legal advice. Literally. Tens of thousands of dollars of free legal advice. You ain't gotta fuck everything, fellas. It's good to be platonic with certain women. If me and her had that kind of relationship, I would have had a nut 15 years ago, and I had to be paying out the ass for the shit that she gives me for free. And at the same time, it ain't no reason to coon. Because when you genuine, people are okay. People who are scared of themselves, they're okay with you not being a coon. She sees every one of my Facebook posts. Hell, she's listened to the show a couple times. I don't compromise what I say about Asians because I got a couple Asian friends. Because they know it ain't personal. They see the bullshit, and everybody ain't down with bullshit. And my boy who used to be, he's my only friend. My boy Red, he ended up marrying a white woman too, but you know, he got a beautiful daughter out of it. He liked what he liked. I've never judged my boy Reggie. Well, I take it back. Back in college, I did judge him. I ain't gonna lie. In college, I would clown him for only liking white girls. I would. But one day, about a little after we graduated college, I pulled him to the side and I apologized to him for being so judgmental back in college. And I let him know that, look, man, that was my insecurity. And I shouldn't, if I choose to for somebody to be my friend, I can't be all up in a mix with that kind of energy. And he never even asked for the apology, but I felt I needed to give it to him. And he thanked me for it, because that's what friends do. And he got a white girlfriend. Hey, he got a beautiful daughter. You know what I mean? I can't judge that, man. Now the rest of my friends are married to black women. The rest of my friends are married to black women. That's nothing about marriage. Like, two of my closest friends, one I've been knowing since I was age of 3, the other I've been knowing since I was 12. They both married to black women. They both homeowners. One's a cop, one's an engineer. I know a lot of people who are fucking married. And the ones who ain't married, ain't none of my friends got random babies running around here. None of my friends have, like, none of them. None of my friends have, like, a bunch of different babies by a bunch of different women. Not one. Yeah. What's up, Jeff? Yeah, Clinton, I used to hear shit like that because, look, again, I told you, I was around the UCLA basketball team a lot. I won't say all, but yeah, mostly all the niggas mess with white women. And we be out partying and shit. I was good just having fun. Like, I can have fun. I've always been able to have fun without having to take something home. When I was single, I always had 3 or 4 chicks that I can call at any time for that. So I was never pussy hungry when I was single. I didn't have to get it that night. I could have a good time watching all my friends take something home, and I can call something on the way home and do what I gotta do before I get home. That's kind of, some niggas can't do that. Other niggas gotta have the new excitement every night. I get it. You gotta do what you do. Some niggas gotta have new excitement every night. Back when I was single, I just had to have a couple that I knew. And so I used to be around, and it'd be something nice. All these niggas that have a white bitch. And I'll be talking to that one black waiter, just having a good time. That one black waitress. And then I go home. I don't judge other people's what they do. But those are mostly niggas that I party with. My inner circle, man. But my one homeboy, one of my best friends is an Indian dude from Africa. What's up, man? Yeah, he an Indian by way of Tanzania. He's an immigrant. I think he said he got here when he was like 5. That's one of my best. I was a groomsman in his wedding And he's a cop, too. Yeah, like one of my best friends two of my close friends are cops. They both detectives now. But these are childhood friends. We was friends long before they became the law. And the dope part about it is they still the same people. Both of them, both my homeboys that are cops, neither of them got in it to be cops. They got in it for the income, for the money and the benefits. And one of my boys, when I worked LAPD, he worked internal affairs, and he never really worked patrol. He would take any job he could take to not work the streets. But it gave him income to where his wife don't have to work. He didn't want his wife to work. He met his wife at like UPS or some shit like that before he became a cop. And he was like, man, these jobs ain't cutting it. I'm gonna have to make some money. Man, she pregnant. We about to get married. I don't want her to work. That nigga applied to become a cop. And his wife ain't worked like in 15 years now. So salute to that nigga. Same with my other homeboy that's a cop. Like they live their lives. They're the same people. I don't judge them. I do not judge them at all. Mm. Mm. Oh, here come this motherfucker here come anus alcohol again back in the chat room. Somebody gave him another hit of cranberry vodka through an anus tube with actual cranberries in it. Yeah, I'm about to get the fuck up out of here. I've been on here for a long goddamn. I plan on only being on here like 45 minutes. Y'all ain't asking no goddamn questions. Damn, it's 12:18. Ain't no time. I'm looking at the time off y'all time step. Yeah, that motherfucker took another bussy shot. He did. Upside down, down the crown. Who are these niggas? This nigga right here. Yeah, good look, yeah. For sure, I've been talking to y'all long enough, talking y'all goddamn ear off. We be live on Credfax tomorrow. Oh, and my communication masterclass. I told y'all about that. I have my masterclass coming. That's going to be a whole bunch of paperwork. Like when it comes to communication, I got a whole bunch of notes from college and experience. I'm be doing these monthly webinars, interactive though. I'm either going to sell them or I'm going to have them up on my membership site. It's like Patreon, same shit. If you're a member, you can access all of them. I'll be doing like more than one a month. And those be interactive. And you could ask me questions that people only can ask me in my private practice. You know, my private practice is $175 an hour. But if you're in the membership group, you'll be able to ask me questions as if, well, not all the goddamn questions. I ain't gonna have no fucking 2-hour sessions with people. But quick questions and shit, relationships and all whatever that I charge my fee for. If you're in the membership group, you can ask those questions and we will have monthly and sometimes bi-monthly webinars with paperwork, all kind of shit. Y'all ain't even got to take no notes. I got all this shit written out for you already. Like, it's a whole nother side than just my YouTube videos. Over here on these things, I got the paperwork already written out. You ain't got to even take notes. And you can ask follow-up questions. It'll all be part of the group. Can't wait to show it to y'all. I should be ready for y'all like later this week or early next week. Y'all have a good one. What's up, George? I'm out.